Hello and welcome to episode 2 of my building series. Last time we added a solo train on a short bit of tracks, which I am now extending a bit. So this time I want to flush out this build and add some more imagination, and further incorporate it into the landscape. I wanted to go for a kind of dystopian steampunk vibe, using nether bricks and lava as kind of the focal point to break up the build. Remember to turn off the fire tick when building with lava. I remembered this the hard way. Let's just say my test world train is mostly no more, which is why it is good to rough draft with anything creative, even in Minecraft. I wanted to use the effects campfires give off from being under different levels of blocks to add varied amounts of smoke to the lava river. So while I did this, I blocked off the lava coming out of the tubes so I could better see what I was doing with the campfires. I went through after, individually lava bucketing each part above the campfires as well as unblocking the lava from the tubes. I used bone meal and nylon around the lava similar to moss to add a kind of crawling growth. Then after, I went back through with bluegrass and blue mushrooms to help break up the reds. For the main house, I wanted to match the train, but focus on a simple combo of tuff and cobble, which was really speaking to me at the time. I wanted the house to be incorporated into the hill. That is why it tilts in toward the hill, and the second level is really just to further incorporate the hill itself. I wanted this village to be almost bare bones, and I didn't really want it to be too extravagant and kind of look like the villagers are just kind of pulling just what they can barely get from the train itself. While I'm building this, I also want to make sure I don't take too much attention away from the train. The copper roof was a natural addition. I tried to make the lower bits more oxidized while trying to imagine how water would naturally tarnish and seep down a real copper roof. The small oak houses were simple but nice. I've yet to add villagers, so it'll be interesting how they take to my artificial village and Pathfind. I do plan to add paths and more large and small houses dotted throughout the area once I figure out more of my narrative story through and through. I wanted this entrance to be very engineered looking, and the brick and mossy brick seem to be a perfect match for this arrangement. Just like with the house, I build with mostly one type of block, in this case, the regular brick, and I get the overall shape. I do this so that I can have a rough idea of the area that I need to clear out, as well as making sure that I don't have to go back and refill in dirt from areas that I didn't have to clear out in the beginning. And as you can see, I did have a dog friend as I was clearing out this mine, but unfortunately, my pick slipped and an accident befell the dog, and I know this is a sin that is going to be thrust upon the building of this village for all eternity, and it's just something I'm going to have to live with. When carving out the cave, I actually was mostly in survival, just because mining with haste beacon is faster than mining out with creative mode. Whether you're playing by yourself or if you're on a server, while you mine, it is just a good general rule to pick up the stones and blocks to help reduce lag. I noticed a while back, despawning blocks ate up my render distance and frames way more than any sorting system or wandering trader or villager. Now, in general, this build and this area overall is mostly going to be for my narrative series. And since I'm really only going to use it probably for 1 or 2 episodes, it is really hard to know what to add and what not to add as far as how many hours to put into a single build. And as much as I would love a 100 chunk long train rail that would just cut through the world entirely, I play at about a 12 chunk render distance, so I usually plan my builds to go about to the edge of my render distance and kind of stop after that. Obviously, with terraforming or adding any amount of small details, you are never really done, but it is just as important to know what not to place as it is to know when to place something. Usually I'll just keep working until the job stops going from being fun and it starts feeling a little bit more towards tedious. However, with the new 1.18 various updates, a lot of the heavy lifting with the training and terraforming is actually kind of done for us, so I don't feel the need to really have to build a mountain from scratch when there's already a mountain built. Of course, the curse of Minecraft is that you aren't able to angle or slope any of the builds without a mod pack, and this definitely affects when you're trying to build something with anvils like a rail, and you're kind of stuck at a certain Y level. And as you can see, this can kind of look awkward, and this is why it's very important to kind of focus on those render distances and kind of pick the area first and not try to force the area to work into what you're trying to build. I'm personally using the mountain to my advantage to help give me an opportunity to turn or change the level of my build to better match other areas that I want to incorporate rails in as well. When I get to the end and I'm adding lights or bone mealing moss, I enjoy keeping the beacons and chest monsters covered and underground just barely out of sight. And this is because in the future I might want to come back here in survival and actually further play or build in these areas, and I don't want them just to be devoid of all the resources because I just deleted everything. Now, even though this build took roughly 5 hours to do, I would have to say the hardest part is actually placing the anvils, because as you know, placing anvils can be very loud, and for the most part I just turned the volume off my computer because after the 200th anvil placed, it really just starts digging into your sanity. Now, beyond that, I hope you liked the build. I hope you liked the tunnels, the train themes, the pop-up village / mysterious lava pipes that are building a nether from this weird train runoff. I had fun with it. I don't exactly know where I'm going to go next. I have plans, but they're very, very ambitious. So I look forward to getting to those. I want to thank you again for dealing with my very atrocious upload schedule, and I hope to see you on the next building episode or narrative episode. Please check me out on all my social medias, which are linked down in the description, and have an amazing rest of your day in the year 2022. Bye!